Who's there? Knock, knock. I'm doing a knock, knock joke backwards. Who's there? Dear friends, I want to see who's there. First, give me a 5 by 5 to make sure I'm not wasting my time. Critical. Am I on? Are we together? Let's see. Let me see. Are we coming through? Let me know. I see one person maybe. I know I kind of surprised you. There we go. All righty. The gang's all here. Hello, everybody. Hello, dear friends. Who's in the house? All right. It's another day in the neighborhood, and here we go again. It's Monday, 12:08 a.m. Eastern Time. It seems like we were just doing our thing the other day. How is everyone? Look who's here. Oh, my God, it's a rogues gallery. Look, all the folks are here. John, Soul, Jan, CA, Max, Beijing, Groot is here, Main Street, Beadro, Mac, Cosmo 5, Linda, Crazy, Wacky, Weird Linda, Lisa Muck, Tish Killen, John Finelli, Nolan, Jesus, every misunderstood nostalgia. Show me the truth. Don't forget, we don't want truth. We want accuracy. Whose truth? What are you talking about? How's it hanging, ladies and gentlemen? Let's show your love today. 5 a.m. where you are. Where the hell are you? Nostalgia MCH. Where the hell are you? You must be what? In the UK? Is that what you folks call it? 2:08 p.m. in Australia. Linda, Crazy Linda, Devil Woman, Evil Woman, she's here. Sounds like the UK. Elizabeth Daniel, hey Lionel, hey yourself, Lizzie D. Maniac, Madman, Linda Hazlitt. There's Linda. Everybody. I mean, this is fantastic. Here we go again, my friends. Here we go again. Whoa. Oh, 11:09 in Thailand. Bruce Smith. Wow. In the UK, did you break your leg at the cutting room? I broke both legs. Did I break them? It was a fun time. It was great. The cutting room was just phenomenal. Had a wonderful time. And just great it reminds me of how many folks there are who believe in what we are doing, who want this thing you say calls the truth. I watch you all the time on my Roku, but just logged in on my phone to comment. Elizabeth Daniel, there's Elizabeth. She says, God damn it. Freddie Haddad. I had dad, you had dad, we all had dad. Mom had dad. Freddie Haddad, a maniac, a good man. By the way, make sure you are subscribed to the newsletter. Yesterday we had some folks from out of town, and we had to do the thing where it's like, okay, let's go to where do you want to go? And they said, well, we want to go see the Brooklyn Bridge. I said, okay. I drove the Brooklyn Bridge. I've never walked the Brooklyn Bridge, ever. I see no need to walk it. But we drove, and all these people was packed at Brooklyn Bridge. Anyway, we parked. It was beautiful. Went to that Dumbo, went to that famous place. That incredible site. What is it called? It's you've seen this one site. Where is that most photographed part of Brooklyn under DUMBO? It's a street that everybody goes to. I believe it's Water Street. Anyway, we went to see this thing. It was incredible. Oh, Washington Street in the Dumbo neighborhood of Brooklyn, especially the intersection of Washington and Front Street just under the Manhattan Bridge. That's it. The iconic shot, the cobblestone street, red brick buildings, and the perfectly framed Manhattan Bridge with the Empire State Building visible through its arch is one of the most photographed spots in New York. Not Water Street, I gotta spell Washington is right. Tourists, influencers, brides, and filmmakers all flock to that exact location. It's essentially Dumbo's version of Abbey Road. And I went there yesterday, and anyway, we're there, and Mrs. L and I took a picture, and I'll post it for you. I thought to myself, what the fuck am I doing this? What is so special? I felt like an idiot. I don't like doing what everybody's doing. Yeah, but it's the most photograph. I don't do the most photograph. That's not me. Homie, don't play that game. You dig what I'm saying? Huh? You dig what I'm saying? In any event. Thought I'd tell you. So anyway, we did that for a while, came back, and it was fun. But it was actually beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. It was just gorgeous. All the young people. And it was so much fun and so clean. And I looked around and I had some of my folks, I said, what don't you notice here? And I left it at that. And my wife said, don't start. I said, no. He goes, don't be careful with that. I said, what don't you notice here? You don't see any of this crazy savagery that I'm going to call out. It's called savagery. People screaming and yelling loud, boom, 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 screaming, cursing. It was quiet. It was calm. I met these folks, these young lads from Australia. They had all their Mets regalia on. It was just so terrific. They were digging the whole American scene, and it was just. But you know what I mean. You know what I didn't see there. Is there riffraff? What else? Don't say it. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it. Don't say it. I know what you're saying. How do you know what I'm going to say? How do you know what I'm going to say? Why can't I say that? You can't. I didn't see riffraff. I didn't see these idiots. I didn't see these jadruls, these chidrulos. Okay, let's go. Connie Francis. Absolutely. All right, my friends, let me ask you something. Elizabeth Daniel, wild woman. Thank you, Al Sanchez. The show was fantastic. So good. Lizzie Solak was there. Lizzie Solak, our dead mother, she was there. It was phenomenal. It was wonderful. Okay. You know what's happening, my friends. Let me see what's happening. You know what's happening. This Epstein thing isn't even close to being concluded or finished. We're nowhere near this. We're nowhere near it. Isn't it incredible? Isn't it incredible? It's like, what is going on? Thanks to, of course, mishandled Pam Bondi. This is. Listen to this. When was Pam Bondi's, it's ChatGPT, when was Pam Bondi's famous statement on Fox News that started the entire controversy regarding Epstein and the files versus the list, where she said they were on his desk? When was that date? Remember that? Who knows that one? Because listen to this one. You're going to love this. When was this? She made this famous on Friday, February 24th, during an interview. She says, it's sitting on my desk right now to review, when asked about a list of clients. So, how many days after the inauguration was February the 21st, 2025? Here's the question. The answer to that is, that would be 32 days later. 32 days. So Pam Bondi's news comment on February 21st came 32 days. 32 days. Pam Bondi. Who was that? And before that was the binder. 32 days. And I don't have a problem with Pam Bondi. I like her. No, I want you to know. I mean, she really is. If you met her, you would think she's a great person. She is a nice person. She is incredible. She is terrific. But do you understand? This is important. Do you understand that she is, and this is important, she is so over her head. Who agrees? Now, if you worked for us, if you were the president's advisor, and you work for us right now, and I said, listen, I want to ask you a question. What do we do with Pam? Are they going to forget this? Are they going to let her forget this? Or can we put this to bed? What would you say? What would you say? What would you say? Nolan says, I feel like Epstein was a wild goose chase to keep everyone's attention from the coming revelation of seditious conspiracy. Not that there's nothing there, but it's not the main course. I think you're out. I think Nolan is on to something there. It's almost like it wasn't that big of a deal. We all knew what was done. We all knew what Ghislaine, put away, Alex Jones cannot say, he says Ghislaine. I love Alex. Alex is still better than ever. I had a telephone conversation today off the air. I'm going to be trying to get Alex on my radio show. And he said he would do that, so be on the lookout for that. Also, Roseanne is going to be on the radio show. Oh yeah, because we're introducing you. See, we're introduced. This is still, you don't understand. The WABC is 50,000 watts. It's a monster. It's a monster. Anyway, she may be a lovely person, but how can she handle any of the issues? Tulsi just referred. I don't think she's up to it. Sin, I think I agree with you 100%. If you are AG and not deep state, you will get spooked out. Alex will get hooked on methylamine blue. Rosie hit comedy tour. 50,000 unstoppable watts. You're right about this. I do not believe that she can possibly recover. See, what you need somebody like me. And when I say like me, I don't mean me, I mean like me. Next month, yes, next month, almost a little over a month from now, I'll be 67 years old. I'm at the prime of my life, but I can't be scared. I'm not in it for the glory. I'm not in it to be hot. I'm not in it to be on Fox News. I'm past that. I'm in this realm of, getting the job done. I want a legacy. I want to see heads roll. I want to be the scariest dude anybody's ever seen. I want to, oh, look at this. Gary's going to be 72 in 10 days. Gary, we're going to party. Gary Irving, ladies and gentlemen. Where is Lionel? That's not their home. Well, have a safe return, Mr. L. What does that mean? What is Tito talking about? Somebody break it to Tito. Linda Hansen says, Pam is way over her head. I know. See, what I would do is this. You would just never see me. I love people who are see. You know who my idol is. Not in terms of substance, not in terms of that, but in terms of the style. Putin. Putin comes on. Well, this is a very interesting thing. President Trump has, I'm sure, a very good reason to believe that, and I'm sure he's a man of honor. He doesn't, and Lavrov is the best. Well, could be, I don't know. All of a sudden, you will hear this. I mentioned this Saturday night. Give me a word to respond to this. Give me a word, okay? Give me something to explain to this. You're watching TV and all of a sudden you hear headline, breaking news, Dateline or headline, Chappaqua, which is in Westchester, Chappaqua, New York. Helicopter flying over the Clinton compound, or the Clinton. Federal agents have just taken into, Fox News can report that federal agents have just taken into custody Hillary Clinton on a 20-count indictment for racketeering, destruction of evidence, RICO, conspiracy to commit RICO. She is being brought to the Southern District of New York, downtown, where she is being booked and processed. I am the Attorney General. I come out and I say, it is true, Mrs. Clinton has been arrested. She is accorded due process rights. She is presumed innocent. It would be incumbent upon me to provide her, to afford her, to ensure that her rights are maintained. I have no comment at this time. We will do all of our discussion in the tribunal of competent jurisdiction. We do our talking in court. We don't do it on TV. Mrs. Clinton is presumed innocent. Please, those likes. I need those likes, my friends. I need 600 likes. Please, I beg you. I beg you. We got a nice crowd. We have a better crowd at midnight than during the day. It's weird. Midnight at the Oasis. So I need those likes. I need them. I need 200. I got 164 now. I ask you, 187. That's it. Just believe me, it means a lot like you can't believe. And you'll be busting a nut. Al Sanchez will drive off the road. You won't know what to do. Hazlitt will go crazy. She'll lose her mind. You know how she gets. You know how LH gets. Come on. I need 600 likes, please. That's all I ask you. Larry says, yes, but do you know, and everyone knows that woman is guilty of sin, and everything else, just look at her murderous past. We know that. That's right. Larry, that's why I'm here, my friend. That's why I'm here. If I was the Attorney General, I would come out and would say nothing. You wouldn't see me. I would not be on Fox News. Nothing. I don't owe Fox News anything. I think too many people are on Fox News. I'm going to say, I don't work for Fox News. Fox News doesn't pay me. I don't need to go on Fox News. What do I need Fox News for? I'd rather do CNN. I'd rather go on The Enemy. I'd rather do CNN. I'd rather go on MSNBC. Not on a show, but I do all of my talk on just press conference. That's it. I don't go on news shows. I don't tell you what I'm doing. I'm the Attorney General. See what I just said? The Attorney General. I don't go on TV. That's it. And all of a sudden I'm going to go and I'm going to say, and if I ran the Epstein case, I'm going to say first and foremost, my only concern, my only interest, my only concern with anything is for the people who are the victims of this. First and foremost, they are my only concern. We're looking at 1,000 potential victims. I've met with the FBI. I've met with our special agent in charge. I've met with Kash Patel, Director Patel. We have a list, which you will never see, of all of the victims. We are talking to everyone individually. We are asking them specifically, what are your thoughts as far as prosecution? If we go to trial, is this something you are going to be able to do? Is this going to be something that you are able to do? Are you able to sit there and point this one out and take on perhaps maybe a big name, maybe not, I don't know. Especially if you were young. You tell me. If a woman tells me, I have moved on, I have received a financial settlement, I am not interested in, pursuing it. I'd rather not. My kids don't know. I really don't want to go through this. I would say, madam, your wish is my command. You are in the driver's seat. You are. Did anyone threaten you? You can tell us. Did anybody threaten you? Oh, no. If I get the impression somebody's cheeky, I'm going to find out who threatened you. Who? Who threatened you? I've got 1,000. We go through each one that we know of. And I ask, do you know of anyone that we've looked? Because first and foremost, my interest, my goal is in the victims, not bringing down Bill Gates or whoever. I'm just picking his name out. I'm not interested in that. Number one. One time I was a prosecutor, young prosecutor, and there was their parents brought in this young man, and he was just, I don't know how old he was. His parents were there. He apparently might have been, let's say, touched by a babysitter. And we were there in the office, and he was looking out the window, and they had construction. They had cranes, and he was just watching this. So I asked the parents, I said, do you mind? I said, there's a room with like kind of a mirror. I said, would you can please watch this, but would you mind going out and let me talk to your son and whatever? He said, yes. And I said, do you like those cranes? I said, aren't those cool? He said, yeah. I said, look how much they can pick up. Yeah, isn't that something? Yeah. I said, what was the name of your babysitter? I just slipped in, and he said, Jerry. Okay. I went back to that. I said, you see that again? I said, watch how they don't, look how close they come. How do you think they got this guy? I don't know. I said, did anything happen? Anything bad happen with Jerry? And he said, no. I said, okay. So I went to the parents that came back. I said, did you hear that? Yeah. I said, why are we going to prosecute? I mean, he's going to have to say something. He doesn't even know what happened. He doesn't know what happened. I know this scumbag is going to get away with it, and I think he might have. But why are we going to take this beautiful child, and why are we going to put him on and then bring up, and he has to meet with a counselor, and they bring the dollar, and you got to point to. I say, why are we doing this? It wasn't. No, if it had been serious where the kid needed hospitalization, that'd be tough luck. But this was different, because the first issue has to be the women involved, the victims. Number one, you tell me what to do. Let me go through them. And then of that list, let's say of that list who are willing, let's say I've got 100 who said, oh no, I didn't settle, or I'm not in any way their waiver of prosecution, their release is for a civil case. They can't guarantee or do anything to prevent criminal prosecution. And of the women, I would have a list of all of the men that either we have pictures of, we go through this book, and if somebody might say, I don't remember the name of the person, I don't remember who it was, that's the guy. Okay, good. Of the case, we say, what do we have? Victim number one. You do know this might have been 20 years ago, yeah. Are you ready to go forward with this? We'll do it. You've got the United States government behind you. Your government is behind you. You ready to go? We'll do it. We'll do it. And they'll try their best to destroy you. They're going to claim you're a gold digger, you're this, you're that, blah, 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 blah. You ready to go? Let's do it. Nobody knows anything. I'm not announcing anything to anybody. Not only because the people who have not been charged are presumed innocent, nobody's been charged, they have rights too. Believe it or not, sad to say, under the Bill of Rights protections, the victims are never mentioned, it's the defendant. Then we go through it and we see who's left and we say that's what we're going to do. That's it. I'm ready to go. You ready to go? I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Let's do it. And then we go to trial. And then we realized, okay, what are we going to do now? I don't know. Are we going to have a list of people? No, we're not going to have a list. I'm not going to put together a list of people who have not been charged. I'm not going to release a list of people who were involved in, what? Drug prosecutions who were never charged? I'm not going to ruin people. If I didn't charge somebody, it is not. Remember, this is what James Comey did. Comey did one of these worst things where he went to this thing. I said, you don't do that to Hillary Clinton. You don't go through this. If you don't charge somebody with something, you don't announce it. I follow the rules. And you would have never known what happened. You would never say, I've got a list on my desk, I'm going to have a binder. Never. Never for me. Never. Never. You would be so scared of the Attorney General's office because I would never tell you anything. The secret, it would be so secret. So secret. I love secrecy. I love it. I keep a secret better than anybody else. Please hit that likes, my friend. I know you can do better. I'm sorry. I don't want to be a pain in the ass. Does that make sense to you? Makes sense to me. You can talk about all this shit you want on TV. All this stuff. Ghislaine Maxwell and that. Well, I don't know. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell, that's another story. That's another story. I'm coming along and I'm saying, if I speak on behalf of the president, if the president says, you want me to speak? Okay, all right, I'll speak. This was done in 2007 between Alexander Acosta and whatever it was. I don't want to pass the buck, but I wasn't here for that. I have no idea. I have no idea. Now, if the president says, and again, you're going to ask this question, what is the connection? Do you believe that Israel was involved as opposed to there were people from Israel there? Les Wexner, Ehud Barak. Somebody better also get that Alan Dershowitz off of the, he thinks he's so good, he's making it worse. He's making it worse. If I worked for Bibi Netanyahu, which I can't imagine, I would say, all right, here we go. Nobody goes on any TV show. You got that? I will charge you. I will charge you with obstructing justice if you dare go on any TV show and talk about Israel, Hamas, Gaza, anything. Ryan says, power protects power. Even Trump knows that. Power brokers across the world, to include the British royal family, who definitely want nothing more coming out about Epstein. They also want to keep out more. You're right about that. But Ryan, I understand that. I'll walk into it. I understand this. But the thing that you want to do is, what scares people the most, power people would be afraid of me. I wouldn't be talking. You would never know what happened to me. You would never know. People would say, we have no idea what they're doing. When you're on TV announcing everything, you basically are telling everybody, I can't charge these people because I'm talking about it. You're signaling. What I would do, and thank you, Ryan, what I would do is I would go out specifically and I would be so quiet, you wouldn't know what I was doing. But the first thing is I would say, number one, John Jolene says, who drafted the Balfour Declaration? That was, I think Mr. Balfour may have had a lot to do with it, hence the name. This is when Britain said, okay, we're going to give it to you. This might have been part of the Rothschilds, I can't relitigate that. You know that, right, Johnny? I can't relitigate that. I can't. I mean, however this started, I can't help that. I'm sorry. I wish I could go through. I wish I wish I could do so much to explain why, for example, why the Native Americans have been so royally horse-fucked by, pardon my French, salty language, but it's true. But I can't do anything about that. It's just not my jurisdiction. But the first thing I would do is I would say to you, number one, there is a difference between Israel being involved and a bunch of Israelis being involved in this. Jean-Luc Brunel, remember the dude, the fellow, this was the guy who was the most important. He was feeding all of the girls to Epstein from the modeling agency. They found him hanging, interestingly enough, in his jail cell. Isn't that something? Don't you think that's interesting? So was France involved? Is Macron? I don't know. No. We do ourselves a disservice when we try to bring in Israel. Mad Max says, Lionel, the silent but deadly Attorney General. Oh, absolutely. SBD, SBAG. Oh, you would never know. Never. The next thing you would do is I would never announce about, the thing that we need to do, that I can do, to scare the living shit out of people, is to take the Tulsi Gabbard revelation and we say, Pamela Joe, we're going to let the adults handle this one. And Tulsi, you are never going to announce this again. I want you to understand this. I've spoken on behalf of the president. If any of you, at any time, decide to list on your X account or your Instagram anything like she did, no matter how great your intentions are, you are fired. Immediately terminated with prejudice. That's not the way the spy movies indicate, but you will be terminated. This is what I would love to do. Breaking news. Federal authorities right now, as we speak, are arresting James Comey, and John Brennan. It's called Operation Golden Fleece. Federal agents are moving in at 4 in the morning, Roger Stone ninja style. You hear what I'm saying? Roger Stone ninja style. They're being brought. The indictments were released out of the Southern District, whatever, of Virginia or Maryland, or you don't have to. It might be Florida. It might be the Northern District of Florida. I don't know. I don't know where it is. Could be. And they're being charged with 9 counts. They're being arraigned. They're brought to the FBI. We have not even given them the courtesy of allowing their attorneys to know ahead of time. They will be given the same courtesy that Roger Stone received. They'll be given the same courtesy that President Trump received. And that's it. Nobody will talk. Nobody will speak. Nobody will go on. No, nothing. Anybody speaks on this, you're fired. I'm done. And we think, holy shit. And they come, and then they'll say, who is this Attorney General? Say, no, not who is this Attorney General. Who is this President? I serve at the pleasure of the President. What I'm doing is I am carrying out his wishes. And I have the best prosecutors who, and this case will be so solid. Very few counts, really solid stuff. No pretend, no multiple crazy. Very, very simple. 18 USC this, conspiracy to this. Hillary. Now, the problem is statutes of limitation. That's the problem. However, if we can show an ongoing conspiracy through novation and the renewal, let's say there was the act which was originally commenced 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. It continues unabated, uninterrupted. It just continues. And they continue to cover it up. If I could show that Hillary Clinton, since 2016, has been meeting with people, dealing this, doing everything she can to cover up this, I can show that the conspiracy continues, whatever it is. So once I get past that. Now, are people going to go to prison? Let the chips fall where they may. Look at the sentencing guidelines. And I ask for the maximum range of the guidelines. The guidelines will show you 21 to 36 months. We want 36 months. And I would argue that the reason for the upper scale is because the harm that these people have caused to permanently and perpetually, seemingly, having people not believe their government, people losing faith, is something so irreparable, so difficult to explain that it's over and above. It's one thing when somebody breaks the law, but when the head of the FBI, Intel, oh no, we can, and you can also do something under the federal sentencing guidelines. Depending upon the charges, the counts, your criminal record, whether you were on probation at the time, your liberty, victim injury, was there a firearm use, you take all these factors, you add them up, 15 points, just like a game. You add them up, you look. If you have 200 points might be 12 to 15 months, 300 points might. If you want to go below the guidelines, if you want to depart below it, if you can show clear and convincing reasons in writing why mercy or extenuating circumstances should apply, okay, maybe. You can also depart upwards from the guidelines by showing something particularly egregious about it. That's it. And I'm not even done yet. I'll have things you've never even heard of. I'll go after USAID. And then, number one. Now remember, target prosecution is something you never want to do. You don't want to go in there and say, I want you to get those people. But I want you to do an investigation. And by the way, by me saying this, I'm kind of telling you what I want. Two organizations I want, not only I want the heads prosecuted, Antifa and Black Lives Matter. I want them absolutely, positively stripped down, and I want them, what do I say? I want them just made an example of it. Antifa in particular. That is a modern day terrorism, brown shirts, urban terrorism. Go down the list. Call this what you want. It's incredible. You lot are not dumb. Educate your kids and grandkids, please. Linda's right. McCarthyism, I don't know what that means. It is a means of government by control by sexual blackmail going back to Rome. I don't know necessarily if it is blackmail. What I need is simply this. Well, people forget to mention, I'm glad you brought that up about the blackmail and extortion. And what people need to know is a victim. Do you know anybody out there who said, I have been granted immunity, I went to Epstein's Island or the Lolita Express, and they came to me. Somebody came to me and showed me pictures, or threatened to show pictures, or threatened to show my wife, or like that idiot from that that CEO, that Coldplay. I love that story so much. I don't know why. Anyway. If I ask the question, has anybody ever done this? Can you name one person, can you, who has ever been the victim, the subject, the target of any kind of Epstein blackmail? Is there anybody? What if not one person says, no? Let's assume nobody's going to come forward. Let's assume I catch somebody and I were to put the vice on them, put them to screws, get them by the nuts. And they go, okay. All right, I'll admit this. Here's the pictures they sent me. This is a girl who... Or do we have any of the girls who say, listen, I was told, go out and set him up and make sure that when you have your love instance with him, make sure you get it on that camera because the camera's right there. Is there anybody, a separate and distinct and aside from our version of it? Because we think, we know, well, it's extortion. Does anybody have any information on this? Good question. User says, but if you were blackmailed with some horrific experience, could they come forward? You'd have to catch, it's a good question. You'd have to catch somebody. And you got to say, listen, we'll drop the charges against you if you testify. Do any of the girls say, yeah, we were told that we had to make sure we angled ourselves in front of that camera? Or is there anybody there who says, yes, I was the curator of this? You got to have tech support. I know it sounds crazy. Why would they leave all these hard drives there? Why would they leave all of these hard drives there? Why would they leave all of these hard drives there? Why? Anybody? Why would they leave all of these hard drives and terabytes? Does that make any sense to you? Answer my question. Why? When were they used? Give me one instance where somebody says. T.L. Spud says. Angel says, to meet you at the cutting room due to a last-minute assignment from a partner. When we'll be back? So I will let you know the next time, because I think I'm going to take this thing on the road, as it were. So here's my question. Where is this? What if we are not able to find anywhere any kind of evidence of this? We're just assuming, and I think it's a pretty good assumption. I think it's a damn good assumption. So it's something for us to think about, something for us to review and to peruse, as it were. So anyway, we'll leave it at that. I think it's. Remember, you could have one of the girls, one of the Epstein family. There must be a co-conspirator somewhere. Maybe Ghislaine Maxwell. If Ghislaine Maxwell says, listen. Fishman says, I saw a story about a 15 or 16-year-old girl who came home from the island with a shoebox full of 100s. I'm sure she hated that money. Well, listen, a lot of you, remember, I hate to say this, but some of these girls, too, knew exactly what they were doing, and they profited handsomely from it. Handsomely. That doesn't excuse the violation of the law, but it does change the tenor and the volume of our discuss. So we'll talk about this. It's a question which I've always wondered. How do we know anything? That's all. In any event. So listen, my friends, thank you. Thank you, Fishman, and all you wonderful folks, you wonderful people. Ryan, thank you, and John Jolene, thank you. Mad Max, thank you. Who else is there? I think Hazlitt's there. Thank you all. Now listen, Join me right now. I want you to leave it, go over to, it's called WABC. It's either 77 WABC, the app. You can go to abcradio.com. If you go to my X, I can't say X, to me it's Twitter, front page. It's a wonderful, it's a great source. But it will tell you, so sign up, so continue this, there. And I will mention you because you're the best. You can also join in. If you call, I think it's 800-848-9222. This is the call in. Tell Riffraff that you're from Lionel Nation. Put you on right away because you're the smartest. You're the smartest because you know this. You're ahead of the game. I'm sorry, but it's true. You know what I'm saying. All right, my friends. I thank you so much for everything, for all you've done. I think, who is this here? Yes, thank you. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget, Lionel Nation, make sure you are subscribed. Please like this video. Like this video. It means so much. That's how we get the word out. And you have been terrific. I love you. I love speaking with you. It's like being with the smartest people who get, I don't have to explain everything to you. You understand. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. And we will talk to you later. And until then, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Da, da. Now, pardon my thumb. There we go.